What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Johnny. Back here, one more reaction video, ladies and gentlemen. And today, I got a good video. I was listening to this audiobook by Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. And I just thought, man, this information definitely needs to be spread to the masses. Now, mind you, this book was written in 1938. And I'm going to just hit play. And if you like what you hear, please share this video far and wide.
Now go ahead and tell me of some of your other tricks with which you allure people into drifting.
One of my most effective tricks is known to you as propaganda. This is the instrument of greatest value to me in setting people to murdering one another under the guise of war. The cleverness of this trick consists mainly of the subtlety with which I use it. I mix propaganda with the news of the world. I have it taught in public and private schools. I see that it finds its way into the pulpit. I color moving pictures with it. I see that it enters every home where there is a radio.
Mind you, this was in 1938 that this was written. And now it's everyone who has a cell phone receives that propaganda. But we're going to let this keep riding out, man.
I inject it into billboard, newspaper, and radio advertising. I spread it in every place of business where people work. I use it to fill the divorce courts, and I make it serve to destroy business and industry. It is my chief instrument for starting runs on banks.
Bruh.
My propagandists cover the world so thoroughly that I can start epidemics of disease, turn loose the dogs of war, or throw business into a panic at will.
If you can do all that you claim with propaganda, it is little wonder that we have wars and business depressions. Give me a simple description of what you mean by the term propaganda. Just what is it, and how does it work? I wish to know
Now, mind you, I've always said that if you was to walk down the street and ask 10 people what's propaganda, 7 of them would have no idea, and they've never heard that word before. Check this out.
particularly how you cause people to drift through the use of this devilish device.
Propaganda is any device, plan, or method by which people can be influenced without knowing that they are being influenced, or the source of the influence. Propaganda is used in business for the purpose of discouraging competition. Employers use it to gain advantage over their employees. The employees retaliate by using it to gain advantage over their employers. In fact, it is used so universally and through such a smooth and beautiful streamlined technique that it looks harmless even when it is detected.
Nice.
Black Lives Matter painted all over the streets. Statues of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor everywhere. Look here, man. Society has been brainwashed. The most valuable currency is your brain. It's the one thing that each individual human has control over. The ideas that you think and the ideas that you put out into this world. And there's a reason that everything is thrown at you repetitively because it wants to stick to you. Propaganda. And when you see it everywhere, it's there. It's on this station, Fox, ABC, 4, 5, 9, 19, 21. You really gonna believe it. Then you go on Facebook, then you go on Twitter, then you go on social media, and then you see somebody and they share something with a different idea, and you see a fact checker icon under there. So they spread misinformation. Can't listen to them. This is how this thing works. You discredit people who have a different narrative. And I love to say, no man is your friend, no man is your enemy, every man is your teacher. And when you step back and realize this world is playing a big game on you, you start to look at the world as a library. You just observe and you look for information. And you don't take anybody else's word for God. You listen to everyone, but you form your own opinions.
Suppose some of your boys are now engaged in preparing the minds of the American people to drift into some form of dictatorship. Tell me how they work.
Yes, millions of my boys are preparing Americans to become Hitlerized. My best boys are working through politics and labor organization.
Hey now.
We intend to take over the country with ballots instead of bullets.
Man, look.
Americans are so sensitive, they would never stand the shock of seeing their form of government changed with the aid of machine guns and tank cars. So our propaganda boys are serving them a diet they will swallow by stirring up strife between employers and employees and turning the government against business and industry. When propaganda has done its work thoroughly, one of my boys will move in as dictator, and the 9 old men on your Supreme Court with their silly notions of the Constitution will move out.
Have we not heard people saying that the Supreme Court should be abolished? it's almost wild how accurate Napoleon Hill's writing was, and the format that he put this book in is definitely next level. I recommend everybody read it. It was one of the first books where I was able to sit back and was like, "Whoa, this Matrix thing is real."
Everyone will be given a job or fed from the government treasury.
Whoa.
When men's bellies are filled, they drift freely with one who does the filling.
Hey, and I can say that's accurate because I grew up in the hood, and when Mama's welfare check was on time, it was cool. I remember vividly. I would get on my bike and ride around the neighborhood looking for the mailman. Do you got my mama check? And if they got my mama's check, I rode back home fast. I was real happy. But if they didn't have it, oh lordy gee, I took the slow route because it wasn't good. And if you seen the movie Baller Blocking, you remember they run up on the mailman and say, "Hey, you got the checks?" And the mailman say he don't know, and they pull the trigger on him. So people love government assistance. It's definitely taken advantage of and abused. You can go right now. If I was to get in my car and drive to Sunfresh on Linwood, I guarantee you there was somebody out front of that store when you walk in asking you saying, "Hey, you want to buy some food stamps?" That's just how it works. So when you take care of the people, they love to profit off of it. And however, if you don't give people an outlet, they'll find another way. So I'm a firm believer on standing on your own because these programs, while they all seem good, my mother was on Section 8 her whole life. She was on food stamps her whole life, but she didn't like it. If she worked the job more than 3 months, we got a letter in the mail. Hey, now, you need to stop working there. You're going to have to find a new place to live. So it's something that internally inside our home, we knew we were using the system to get up, but the goal was to get away from the system. And unfortunately, that system loves to trap people and never let them advance.
Hungry men get out from under control.
I have often wondered who invented the clever trick which you call propaganda. From what you tell me of its source and nature, I understand why it is so deadly. Only one as clever as your majesty could have invented such a device with which to dull the reason, dethrone the will, and lure men into drifting. Why do you not use your powerful propaganda to gain control of your victims, instead of subduing them through fear and annihilating them through warfare?
What is fear of the devil except propaganda?
Exactly.
You have not observed my technique very carefully, or you would have seen.
What is fear of the devil except propaganda? False evidence appearing real. But this world wants you to have anxiety and to be fearful. Don't be scared. The future is bright. Have faith. You know, the thing about faith and fear is they both require you to believe in something that you cannot see. So the choice is totally up to you. I would just rather put my energy in the positive over the negative.
That I am the world's greatest propagandist. I never attain an end by direct, open means, which I can achieve through subterfuge and subtlety. What do you suppose I am using when I plant negative ideas in the minds of men, and gain control of them through what they believe to be their own ideas? What would you call that, except the cleverest of all forms of propaganda?
Surely you are not going to tell me that you destroy people through their own help without their realizing what you are doing.
That is exactly what I wish you to understand. Moreover, I will show you exactly how the trick is performed.
Now we are getting somewhere. Exactly how do you convert human beings into propagandists and lure them into self-imprisonment? Give me the story with all its lurid details. This is the most important part of your confession, and I am consumed with eagerness to gain control of your secret. I can hardly blame you for stalling about answering my question, because you know so well that your answer will snatch millions of innocent victims from your control. You also know that your answer will protect other countless millions of yet unborn people from being victimized by you. It is little wonder you are hedging about answering.
Your deductions are correct. This part of my confession will do me more damage than all the remainder of it.
Stating your headache in a better way, this part of your confession will save more millions of people from your control than all the remainder of it.
All I can say is that you have me in a hell of a situation.
Now you shall know how the millions of your victims feel.
And the goal is for this reaction video to save a ton of people from the propaganda of the world. Because I say, man, our society wants you over medicated and undereducated. It doesn't want you to believe in yourself. It doesn't want you to know that you can do anything, that you can accomplish anything. You don't need any system to take care of you, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is like. The future is unlimited with faith, consistency, and hard work, but you have to have faith. You have to believe that life can get better. If you read Earl Nightingale, then you understand you become what you think about. So do you think positive or do you think negative? Because the world is throwing negativity at you 24/7, and you have to be able to rise above your environment. You have to be the rose that grows from the concrete.
Let's have it.
I make my first entry into an individual's mind by bribing him.
What do you use as a bribe?
I use many things, all of them pleasant things the individual covets. I use the same sort of bribes that individuals use when they bribe one another. That is, I use for bribes the things people most want. My best bribes are these: love, the thirst for sex expression, covetousness for money, the obsessive desire to gain something for nothing, gambling, vanity in women, egotism in men, desire to be the master of others, desire for intoxicants and narcotics, desire for self-expression through words and deeds, desire to imitate others, desire for the perpetuation of life after death, desire to be a hero or heroine, desire for physical food.
That is an
Now, isn't that everything that's pushed in our mainstream media? That's the wildest part, especially through hip-hop, through sports, through culture. Man, look here. That's why I say you got to be in the world but not of the world. And as a man, it's up to you to protect your family from this massive propaganda that we live in. You know, I can say my children definitely helped me wake up to see what was going on in the world. And I can't say I'm going to change the world, but I hope I spark the brain that sparks the brain that sparks the brain that sees, man. You really have the power to be something in this life, to create the life you want, to create the reality you want. Or you can believe the narrative that you're stuck in the situation. And I want everybody to grow into their best selves and make the best choices for themselves and their family. The world wants you to praise material things, but everything that really matters in life was given to you free. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, the ability to love somebody, to hug, to laugh, to smile, to joke, to cry. So you have to step back and see what's really important and seeing how you're being brainwashed and misled, especially the younger generation, because you have to use the internet, but don't let the internet use you. I challenge young kids to read books 1950s and before the internet, when people actually had to sit and think. And you'll be surprised of the information that you can consume. I'm going to leave the video here, but I definitely want everybody to check out this book, man. You're going to love it. First 5 minutes and you're going to be hooked. But that propaganda piece, I just had to share that to the world because we live at a time where propaganda is at all-time high. So I hope this video goes crazy viral, and I hope a bunch of people see. Oh, man, actually, Dax and Tom got a song called Propaganda, which is pretty dope. So shout out Dax and Tom. Hope everybody go check out that track as well. But like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Be the change you wish to see in this world. And never, ever, ever, ever be too proud to pray. Follow your heart. Follow your dreams. You can do anything. You can accomplish anything. Whether you watch the video today, next week, next month, 5 years, 10 years, man, believe in yourself. You are limitless. Whatever you want, it's out here and you can go get it. We gone. Peace.